bloom in spring. Tell me who gives the air that you breathe. Ooh. Everything that you need he will provide, so you may as well come on and give him a try. 'Cause he's awesome. Ooh, he's awesome. He's awesome. What would I do without him? Couldn't make a move without him. I don't wanna be without him. He's awesome.
Greetings, people of God. Welcome to ZMR Ministries. I'm Pastor Z, and thank you for joining me for another Tuesday episode of EntrepreKNEWWHAT. You know, on Tuesdays, the first Tuesday of every month, we highlight one entrepreneur for the entire month, and they talk about what it is that they do, how long they've been doing it, their journey, and how they can help you on your journey to becoming an entrepreneur. And if you're already an entrepreneur, then hey, you can pick up some wisdom nuggets. So tonight, I want you to help me welcome my special guest, LaKisha Casselberry. Thank you for joining me, Keisha.
So much for having
Y'all, this is my cousin. I love her so much, but she's also my friend.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of the endeavors that she has going on and what she does. Okay, we're going to dive into it because y'all don't know, but we're going to tell them about it, or you're going to tell them about it. So what is the name of your company?
The name of my company is Christians All Natural.
Okay, and what it is, what it is. What is it that you do with your company?
I make natural hair and body products. I make hair and body butter, hair and body oil, and scrub, and bath salts.
Okay, so first of all,
All
she's a walking billboard for her products. Look at her hair, her skin, all of it. She put some butter on me earlier. You know what I'm saying? And this, I'm not being biased. This is some good stuff. So how long have you been,
I've been
making products? I couldn't get the word out, y'all.
I started out making my butter. My son was 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
And I had transitioned from a perm to natural. And so I couldn't find anything on the market that was moisturizing my hair. My hair always looked very dry.
Uh-huh.
And so, and with that, my son, he had eczema.
Mm.
So from a baby, and I nursed him, but he always had cradle cap. And I would have to wash his hair, use Selsun Blue, and it never went away.
Mm-hmm.
And so as he got older, like around 1, it was all over his body.
Mm.
And of course, he's 1 now, so I know it's not cradle cap.
Right.
And so it was eczema, and the doctor was like, only thing I can give him is like baby Aquaphor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was use that, but then it would still come back.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't curing it or anything. It was just moisturizing his skin, but I could still see it.
Right.
And so I started researching natural products, something for the hair and body.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started noticing when my son started getting a haircut, he started getting like ingrown hairs.
Right.
And his scalp, it was just like, it was nasty. And so I prayed about it, and I started researching all natural products.
Mm-hmm.
And I read about tea tree oil, lavender, and how those things help with fungus. And butters, and so what works well together. So I made up a little concoction, and I started putting it on my son. And I know immediately his skin started improving.
Really?
It did, immediately. And so I started putting on him, the eczema went away. My hair started looking very moisturized. And so I was just making it for me and my friend. That was it.
Uh-huh.
And one day I was talking to a coworker, and he was telling me how he had these dry patches in his scalp. And he was like, man, I got these flakes. And I was like, you know what? I made my son, had eczema and things like that. I said, so I'm going to bring you some. Well, girl, I brought him some. He was like, you got some more?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this stuff is expensive.
Right.
So he was like, well, why don't you sell me some? And I was like, okay. So that's how I started selling to my coworkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I started selling to me.
So what was the aha moment? Like, okay, I'm making this, I'm kind of selling it to certain people, but you know what? This should be a business.
You know what? Once I realized that it costs money to buy the products,
to get the supplies,
right, to get everything, and then I was just giving it away. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is expensive.
Right.
But the more I was giving, they was wanting more. So I was like, well, would you buy this? They was like, yeah, because I don't have dry scalp anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what was like, okay, let me try this out.
Right.
And so my friend and I, we just started looking up manufacturers, trying to find it. Because at first, I just wanted to help food store.
Right.
And so I have a partner, and so we just started researching. And I was like, you know what, we might can do this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. And you know what? most great ideas are birthed out of a need.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't even think to even concoct something like that until you need it yourself, which is a gift in itself.
Right.
And I
had to.
Right. So, Keisha, in regards to your background, because I know this was just birthed out of a need because of your son.
Yes.
Now, did you have examples of entrepreneurs growing up?
Well, no, let me take that back. My grandfather, he had his own business. He had a convenience store. And my father has his own business. He has a printing shop. He's always had a business ever since, growing up. He had a printing shop, a t-shirt shop. He used to sell tennis shoes. So my dad has always had his own business. I never really worked close with him, but I always saw that on his side.
Right.
Yeah. So my dad.
So it was just in you.
I guess so.
It was there. You just needed something to pull it right out of you, right?
And it's so funny because I had no intentions of selling it at all. Like I probably wouldn't even told anybody unless I talk. I'm a talker.
Right.
So when I see a problem, I'm like, hey, if I can help, I'm like, hey, try this out. Just let me know if it works. And when he's like, oh my God, this works, I was like, okay. He's like, can I have some? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
This is expensive.
Right.
Yeah. And I was using it on my son, and I was using it on myself because I could not find a product that kept my legs moisturized. Like I have dry skin myself. And so I tried every product on the market, and nothing kept my skin moisturized all day.
So now you've decided to make a company.
Yes.
Or, start a company, not make a company.
Yeah.
But, I know that you're an accountant.
Yes, I am.
That in the professional world.
Yes.
So have you ever thought about, okay, I'm going to stop doing accounting and I'm going to go full-fledged, with I'm calling it the butter company.
Yeah, I like that. I thought about it, but I think being, I'm a single mom.
Right.
And so I have a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely.
And sometimes a startup company, you need a lot of revenue, you need a lot of things because I still have bills.
Right.
So I do both. I still make it on the side, and I would love for my company, to go public and to where I can leave my job, but I just don't have the time to devote to it.
Right.
And that's been my prayer lately because I want to do it full time. Yeah. I love it. I would love to see people skin glow and shine and feel good about themselves.
So what is the process like now? Because I know you said, I was giving it to my friends, it got expensive. You asked them, hey, is it something you would buy? And then you and your partner start researching some things.
Yes.
So tell us about the journey. Like once you did your research and you were able to concoct it and get the butter and all of this stuff for your hair and all of those things, what was the step-by-step process from mixture to the packaging to all of that, because someone is watching and they may have a skincare line or whatever it is and they're like, I need to know what to mix, packaging and research. Like, let's walk through that.
It's so funny when we first started. Like I said, I just got all of my ingredients from the health food store, right? And so it was all natural, but I didn't even know the difference between refined and unrefined, right? And so when I first made my product with the refined butter, it was all whipped and beautiful, right? And I was like, okay, so we're gonna order from a manufacturer because now we want to, create it in bulk,
right?
And so we ordered, and I was like, ooh, okay, unrefined, that's real natural, right? That's organic. So, girl, we ordered all the products and we whipped it up in my mixer in my kitchen. That's real. We mixed it up, and then I was like, wait a minute, this don't look right. This does not look right because unrefined means that it is straight out the coconut, or straight out the shea butternut. And I was just like, no. And so that within itself was very discouraging. Right. Because now I have, clients. I have people purchasing my products and they're used to the whipped.
Right.
And now it's not whipped because now the butter is harder when it's
so it wasn't consistent.
Yes. And so now
see, that's another learning experience.
It is. And so it's been a lot of times where I was like, you know what, we just gonna use that. That's for us. Like this whole batch. No one
we're gonna leave this at the house.
Right. And so we went through a lot of growing pains.
Right. Trial and error.
Yeah. It is real. But you have to just stay encouraged. Make sure you have a partner that's really understanding. Like we laugh and we pray every single time before we make a batch. We hold hands, we pray about it, and we're just like, okay, God, lead us, guide us.
Right.
And so it has been a lot of trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
A lot, so.
And you know what? That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Because, you know, sometimes when people get it wrong or they make a mistake or they suffer a loss,
Right.
you know, because, you know, if you whip up some unrefined butter and you keep it for yourself, that's still a loss because that you're not getting any return.
Exactly.
At least when you make it the right way,
Yes.
you can at least get what you invested in it. But with something like that, it's like,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
we'll just have to deduct that and we're going to put that in a hole.
Right.
Count it as a loss. And sometimes you have to do that,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, when it comes to like you making the big move,
Okay.
you know, and starting your company, you've gone through trial and error and things of that nature. Was it what you expected, or did you even go in with any expectations?
I didn't go with any expectation. The first, like, it's called, my product is Christian All Natural.
Right, and your son's
name is Christian.
Right,
I named it
right.
after my son because I made it for him.
Right, right.
And I always wanted to leave a legacy for my son.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my way of just blessing him and letting him know that I think about him every time I produce something. And so his Christians All Natural, and I just really didn't go with any expectation because I was
Right.
like, well, this is now, when I started, it was a lot of YouTubers coming out, a lot of people started making all natural products, and I was like, why would people want to buy my product?
Right.
You know, and that was my thought, which was a negative thought.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what really kept me from pushing forward. It's because I was thinking, well, you know, it's a lot of products out there, but my customers and my clients were like, but not like yours.
Right,
And I'm
right.
like,
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, stress that, seriously.
It is, and now that I think about it, the world is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And God is going to lead me to the people that need my product.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so I have I have my clients, and my clients love my product, and it doesn't mean that they can't try someone else's.
Mm-hmm.
The market is huge.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just have to be encouraged, because I did get real discouraged once I started seeing that everybody was making their natural products. And so I was just like, maybe, it's just for family and co-workers. But the more a co-worker buy it or someone buy it, they tell someone else, and then someone else buys it.
Mm-hmm.
So the word is getting out just by word of mouth. I'm not on any social media right now.
Marketing or advertisement.
Not now, but I will be.
Right.
But yeah, just by word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing a lot of selling.
And you know what? Word of mouth is powerful.
It is.
It's powerful. And I know that, marketing and advertising, there's nothing wrong with that. That's really good as well. But a lot of people's success came from just word of mouth.
Yes.
If you can get people talking about your product, then you've already won. You're already ahead of the game.
Right.
Because the purpose of marketing and advertising is to get people talking.
Yes.
And you're already above the first step, so that's a blessing in itself.
Yes, it is.
So what's the advantage, of people using your product versus someone else's?
With mine, what I love about my product is its hair and body.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning you can use it on your hair,
Right.
your face,
Right.
your lady parts, your male parts, on your feet. You can use it all over.
Right.
And it's all natural. There's no mineral oils, no water. Like it is what's on the label. That's all that's in it.
Right. So
Natural
nothing
preservatives.
hidden.
No, nothing hidden. Nothing that will break you out. Just natural preservatives.
Right.
All natural products. And like I said, my son had X1. He's been using it since he was 1. And I haven't had anyone say it broke them out or anything like that. And so, and for the cost, I'm thrifty. And so I wanted to create a product that was one hit a quitter.
And affordable.
And affordable.
Yeah.
And so, and a little bit goes a long way.
And you know what? That is so good.
Yeah.
Because I heard you say a one hit a quitter.
Yes.
Because you think of people who go buy things, they have this for dry skin, they have that for itching, they have this for patches, they have that for that. Okay, this is just moisture. And it's like, before you know it, you have a whole line of products. And there are some, product lines where they have all of that.
Yes.
And you find yourself saying, oh, I love that line. Well, here's all my stuff.
Right.
And you know what? It makes it easier for travel. It's compact.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You can carry. I've seen her carry it in her purse, in her bags. I mean, and this is not just me talking. She used it on my skin earlier.
Yes, I did.
She wanted me to look real moist.
Yes.
And I was like, I said, girl, I got some baby
glow.
Right. And I was like, girl, I got some baby oil. She was like, that just sits on your skin. And I was like,
Mine
my bad.
penetrates.
Right. See, there it is.
Yes.
And she actually rubbed it in, and I was like, okay, this feels really good. So it's not like, I'm just sitting here saying these things. I've had the what is the Christian, what is
Christians all natural.
Christians all natural. I was going to say, I've had the butter experience.
That's what people call it. I'm like, okay.
So I've experienced, Christians all natural for myself. And not only that, I'm sitting here because I'm like, okay, I get eczema.
Yeah.
And I didn't start getting eczema until I was an adult.
Wow.
And so it's usually brought on by hormone changes or stress, things when I get anxiety or I'm overwhelmed, I start seeing flare-ups.
Right.
And so I'm sitting here like, girl, I should have been calling you.
Yes.
To help me with my eczema needs, but that right there in itself will sell itself.
Oh yeah.
And it's because you only need one product.
You need one product.
And so it's like you cut out buying the hair grease and the extra oils and all this.
You grease your scalp.
Right. And then I can get out the shower, grease my scalp, I can put it on my body, put it on my feet, I get the moisturizer, it's healing my eczema. I mean it's just like the balm in Gilead, honey.
Yes.
It's just there.
Okay,
It's like all in one and it's all inclusive and people want that.
Yes. And I had to think about that again. I made it for my son. So you have to think about it. My son is not going to use a bunch of different products.
Right, correct.
He's going to use one. And that's pretty much all he's been using. Like I made the oil because of course the butter is a cream.
Right.
So it takes him longer. So he's quicker. So he sprayed the oil in his hand, do this, and he gone.
That's how boys do. They ain't trying to penetrate.
No, he rub it in and he get the same effect.
Right.
And that's what I wanted for my son. So I'm always thinking, okay, thrifty, time consuming. I don't want anything that's time consuming, something that he's gonna buy, or if he was buying it, he could use it. Like he really uses it. He takes it with him when he goes out of town. He takes it with him when he goes spend a night at a friend's house. Like he brushes it in every single day.
Yeah.
And my son is 15 and he has not had eczema since.
Wow.
And here's a kicker. I don't think I shared this with you. So one day I was talking to his father's mother, and she was saying Christian's skin is so pretty. I was like, yeah. She was like, all my grandkids had eczema. And I was like, I was wondering where he got that from because I don't have it. Like I just did not. I don't have it. And so she was like, yeah, all my grandkids, they can barely go outside because they're allergic to like grass and they all, itching patches and things like that. She said, but Christian don't. I said, he did. I said, but I started using my products on him when he was 1.
Come on, my products. Come on.
And he doesn't have I mean, you see my baby, chocolate, beautiful, glowing skin. And to the point where his friends used to tease him and call him man baby. Because his skin,
and it really
have
is,
any pimples, any bumps or anything.
That's another thing. Does it work for acne? Do you know?
I don't know. To be honest.
We're going to say it does.
Okay, well, Jesus, we're going to. That's my prayer.
It hasn't been tested, but I mean, if it's healing eczema and
that's my prayer.
whatever,
a person, set their intent and what they need it for, it will be that.
Okay.
So that is always my constant prayer.
It worked.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. It works.
Yeah, because it has tea tree in it, and tea tree and lavender, it works against fungus, and that's a lot of time you have fungus on the skin, you have bacteria, and so it fights that.
Awesome. Now let's talk challenges and rewards.
Okay.
What has been one of the most challenging things, and what is the most rewarding thing since starting your company?
One of the most challenges, like I said, the different textures of my butters.
And learning that.
Yeah. Even now in the pandemic, because I think people started doing a lot of
Do it yourself.
DIYs. People started doing that, so they started buying up all
DIY. Do it yourself. Girl.
Do it yourself.
DIY.
Yeah. So people started doing a lot of DIY.
You see?
DIY. They started making their own products.
Right.
And so they started buying all of the butters. So I couldn't, where I would normally purchase my butter, I couldn't because they were sold out. And so I had an order. And so I tried to find another manufacturer, and it wasn't the same. It didn't work out. And so the mango butter was very hard and very rough. And so when I tried to manipulate it, to create that creamy texture, it just wouldn't. And so I had to kind of manipulate some things. I was like, I'm only giving my clients the best, my customers the best. If I don't like it, although it does the same, it's the same ingredient, but if I don't like the texture, it was a little gritty, then they're not gonna get it.
It's kind of one of those things like, if I don't want to use it for myself, what makes you think you would?
Exactly.
You would want to use it.
Yeah, and so that's the thing, because it's all natural. You have to make sure you have a manufacturer that you trust, and sometimes they get it from somewhere else. So I have to hold them up to a certain standard.
Absolutely.
And so I've had to find another manufacturer. And so that right there has been a challenge.
So what was that process like? Because there may be someone watching saying, hey, I had to do the same thing, but I'm having a hard time doing that.
Yes.
How did you go about doing it?
I started researching, getting online.
See, research.
Read the reviews. And now I have 2 manufacturers that I trust.
Okay.
And I know exactly what products and when. Because like I said, right now in the pandemic, there's a shortage.
Right.
So I know now I have to buy more to make a larger quantity, because people are buying it up now. And they're just, people are trying different things.
Right.
So, yeah.
You know what? One thing that I was picking up on when we were talking about, if you don't want to use your own product, nobody else would. It's almost like a cook.
Yeah.
If you ever find a cook that don't eat their own food,
Something's wrong.
don't eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you ever find someone, whether it's your business and you don't get high off your own supply, I know, in the streets it's like you don't get high on your own supply. But in doing business, if you wouldn't buy it, if you wouldn't purchase it, if you wouldn't hire, somebody to use your company, and you wouldn't hire yourself to use your own supply, then go back to the restructuring board, right?
You have to.
Go and re-strategize.
Yeah.
Something is wrong with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Keisha, did you ever have a plan B where you feel like, you know what? I like this, but if it doesn't work, then I'm just gonna stay in corporate America? Or do you have it in your mind that, one day I'm leaving corporate America and this is gonna be it?
Lately, the closer I've been drawn to God.
Yeah.
Because now with corporate America, I'm constantly busy. And I'm like, God, I want to do things that's part of my purpose.
Right.
Purpose driven. And I just don't feel like corporate America is where I'm at. Right. But it does pay the bill.
Right.
So
and we thank God for it.
Yes, thank you, God.
Yeah.
But my prayer is that I'm able to have my own business.
Well, you do have your own business.
I do. Well, let me take that back. So my own business be my source of income.
Your sole source
my
of income.
sole source of income.
Yeah.
That is my prayer. But it's just a hurdle that I need to get over. Because you have to give it your all.
Right, absolutely. So what would you say to people who say, you know what, why not spend time when you're not working and put those extra hours, you know what I mean? Because you have so many entrepreneurs who still work corporate jobs, and they say, you know what, that's my 9 to 5, but then 5 to midnight or whatever time, that's on me. Because with you being a mother, there's a balance, and you gotta manage it also. It's like, I have a 9 to 5, but I also have a full-time kid. And so it's like, what would you say to those who are looking to find a balance? How would you find it? Or are you still finding it yourself?
I'm still finding my balance.
That's honest.
And that is so, I'm being as honest as possible. Once I get off of work, sometimes I'm drained.
Yeah.
I am drained, and then I have a teenage son, and so I have to devote my time to him as well.
Right.
And there's no excuse. I can still, manage that, but I still have to get my rest. I still have I prayer life. I spend time with God. I have friends, things like that. So eventually, I do want to put more time in my business.
Yeah.
I'm still working through, like I said, a few hurdles. And
we all are.
Believing that that my business can be successful.
Absolutely. So, do you personally believe that there's a blueprint to success?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I don't know.
She is the sweetest.
I don't know. I do believe, like, some people, they are just driven. And that's what I've been praying for, because God has really given me ideas. This is not my first attempt at a business. I wanted to make jewelry. And the same problem that I was having that I'm having now, finding a manufacturer.
Yeah.
I would create these pieces, but then I couldn't duplicate them because I couldn't find, the beads or the things like that. And so that was very frustrating. And with that business, I was like, I tap out. I did it. But with my products, because I am a user and my son uses, I can't stop making it.
Right. You're a believer.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
So I know this is something that the Lord has really placed on my heart, because it's chasing me. And so it's about to catch up with me.
Right.
And so I'm going to let it. But as far as a blueprint, if someone knows, let me know.
I honestly, you know what? I was speaking to someone else, and I think I've even said this in another episode, I believe, where I said I believe a blueprint is just like your DNA. Where no one else has, your DNA, no one else has your fingerprint.
Right.
And so when it comes to a blueprint to your success, no one else can really copy that, right? Because when you think about it, they can do every step, everything identical to what you did and not come up with the same results.
Right.
And so I just like to ask entrepreneurs, because sometimes, people say there is a blueprint to success. Hard work, perseverance, consistency, don't give up, I'm like, yeah, that's nice, but
I'm still waiting on
right.
it.
We said, I want to be able to give you a
I
blueprint.
want that.
Right,
I want that
right.
drive, that kick, that makes you want to stay up at midnight, 2 in the morning. To be honest, it's just, it hadn't kicked in.
Well, we're going to be praying for that drive. We're going to be praying for the drive.
No, it is coming. It really is. I think because I've been in, accounting for that's what I know. And that's been my fallback. Even when I try to do something else, I always fall back to accounting, especially now. But I do want to invest in myself. I do want to believe that my products and my business can grow and prosper if I give it that time and attention.
Right,
and so that's what I'm striving for now. I really want to do that because I think I can do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can definitely do it. And you know what? There are some other people who are watching this saying, I'm in that same boat.
Yeah.
And then too, especially when you have added responsibilities.
Yes.
It's easier when you're single.
Yes.
But when you have children or a spouse or other people that you're responsible for, then making those decisions can be hard.
Exactly.
And you have to make sure it's in the right timing. That you're not only prepared, but they are.
Yes.
Because when you are tapping into that drive and you're like, okay, you know what? It's all about my business. There's sacrifices, and honestly, everybody suffers.
Yes.
In the beginning until things are up and thriving, but you still have to keep the machine moving, and so it's always going to require a great deal of sacrifice. Period.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's the big question that I ask every week, or not every week, but I ask all of the entrepreneurs that I talk to, which is the name of this segment: EntrepreKNEWWHAT. What is it that you wish you knew as an entrepreneur before you became an entrepreneur?
Like I said, I wish I knew about the different products and the manufacturers. Like, I don't know why I just assume every product is the same. Like every butter is the same, every oil is the same. Like, I wish I would have known that every company gets it from somewhere else.
Right.
Things like that. That's been my hardest struggle. Just trying to figure out where to order the products from, the materials from. And so, because I have a great partner, so it's never been finances. My partner, she knows, like, her cousin is a graphic designer. Like, everything started coming together very well, but it's just been the manufacturer. Like, even with our containers, sometimes the containers are sold out. Like, that type of thing that we just
didn't account for.
We did not.
And you know what? There's no way around it. I think that's in everything. I don't think it's possible to really have all your ducks in the row. Because there are going to be bumps along the road,
You just don't think about it. You just don't think they'll run out of butter.
Butter?
You know what I mean? Like a shea butter.
And when you think about it, it's something that you've never had to think about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when I first started making it, I was getting it at the health food store. Right. But as my demand grew, I had to start buying in bulk.
Come on, demand, bro.
I had to start buying in bulk, and like I said, I didn't even realize, like, they sold out of containers.
Wow.
Stuff like that you just don't account for. So you only get enough to, I'm gonna make this batch.
Right.
And as it sells out, you're like, okay, I'm gonna place another order. Right. But guess what? All the materials are not there.
And you know what? There was a particular company, I won't say, the company is good. I ordered it, I saw their advertisement on Facebook. And so they were a small company, and they paid for some Facebook advertisements. And so I ordered, right? And it was just for, like, edge control. And but it took like 2 months for me to get it. And so, it was a lot of complaints, and I was like, come on, are you serious? And what I realized was, because of course we always want to support Black businesses. And so with the pandemic and the big, surge in Black Lives Matter and buying in black, then you put your company out there and now everyone wants to support.
Exactly.
And so what I remember they put out a message and said, we understand that people are complaining because, some people were like, that's why I don't like to buy black and this, that, and the other. And I said, show some grace. I wrote it in the comments. Yeah. And I said, because they didn't prepare for this type of demand.
Yes.
When you're a new company, you think you're going to start out slow, and then when all of this surge of support start happening, like, oh my gosh, I want that. Then they were here and it's like, okay, now we have back orders, and that is a blessing. Don't get me wrong. It is a huge blessing, but there's really no way you can prepare because one day you have no sales, and then the next day, boom, it's a surge. And it reminds me of this story I saw. It was this young lady, her dad's, I don't know if it's a taco stand, but it was a food stand, right? And he was getting no business. Like she said, it was so bad that one day he only made $23. And she's like, you can't survive like this. So she just put a Facebook post, like, this is my dad's thingy, this is his restaurant. I feel so bad. If you're in the area, just support my dad. Right. The next day, the lines were wrapped around down the street the entire day. And he made more than enough money. So it's like, in an instant, it can change. Yes. And so it's like, what I'm saying is, you never know. And there's no way to prepare. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And there are some companies in the pandemic where they were used to that surge, that demand, and then all of a sudden, there is no demand.
And that's the thing, like you said, the company that you was referring to, so they're getting the backlog, right? Right. So everybody's surging, buying all their products. Right. But because of the pandemic, the postal service is slow. So they can't even get their merchandise created. So it's just a backlog, everywhere around.
But it keeps going because the manufacturers are now, like, okay, now we're out of stock. You have to wait and we have to wait because, the factory that makes them, they're now at home, because they're considered non-essential. Right. And that was a lot to factor in. It was a lot to factor in. So, I just think that's really great. But it's also, the honesty of it all is you really can't prepare for the pitfalls because you don't know what's going to happen.
And the thing is, like, with my company is all natural. So I don't have, my shelf life is 6 months. Right. But I sell my products so quick. So as soon as I sell, I'm making more. I don't create products for a long shelf life. Right. And so that's the thing too. So with this pandemic, like I said, they're selling out of butters and oils, well, that put me behind. Right. So now I can't fill my order because no one was anticipating this pandemic to hit and to affect people like this. And so what do you do when you don't have these supplies on hand? You just don't.
And it just came out of nowhere. It did. It came out of nowhere, but those are the things that you can't factor in. LaKisha, I just want you to just look into the camera, and I want you to give a word of encouragement for someone who may be, just now starting their company or thinking about starting a company, and some who may already be an entrepreneur that they're looking for, how to progress. Can you just give them a word of advice and encouragement?
Yes, and I wish I wish I would have been more vocal with my business so that I could have gotten more encouragement. Because I think once you believe in yourself, and you believe that your product will sell, I think you will invest in yourself. Right. And that's the thing. I don't think I invested enough money, enough time, enough energy within myself and my own product to be as successful as I could have been. Right. Or I could be. And so my first advice is believe in yourself. Right. You are unique. Your product, there's a billion people out here. And so you have your own corner of market. And so focus on that. Just focus on the people that need your products, and you'll be surprised. Right. Like, I am surprised at the people that seek out my product. And just because I'm being true to myself, I'm not trying to create 5 different products. I'm just focusing on the few products that I have, and I'm giving my time and energy in those products. So if you have something, work it. Don't try to be like anybody else. Don't compare yourself to anybody else.
Find your niche.
Find your niche. Yeah. And just focus on that. And just keep encouraged. Stay encouraged. Don't give up. If it's your dream, it's going to chase you. Like, my dream is constantly chasing me. Like, this business is chasing me. Even when I try to put it down, it comes back up. Every time I'm like, I'm done. I'm just going to make it for me and my son. Somebody's like, hey, I need a product. Right. And new people coming. So it's chasing me. So just be true to that. Don't give up. do not give up. Don't get discouraged. Just believe in yourself and know that it's gonna happen. And the energy that you put in it, you have to put the time in, but it will pay you back. Trust me. So that's what I have. Just believe in yourself. And just love your product. And if you love it, trust me, other people will love it.
And you know what? Just to piggyback off of what she said, just really quick, is be willing to invest in yourself. You know, no matter what it is, if you're starting a company, if you're pursuing, you know, I'm an actress, if you're pursuing acting, invest in yourself, because when you go to somebody and you're looking for a sponsor or funding or support or whatever it is, they're always going to say, what are you already doing? Because the way it looks on their end is, if you're not willing to bet on yourself, then why would I be willing to bet on you?
And like I wear my products.
Clearly. Clearly. See the curls, y'all. That's beautiful.
My products. It works. It works. And I love it. And so I stand by it. And I talk about it all the time. That's my love child. So
you know what? And I'm a believer.
Awesome.
Keisha, thank you for joining me today. And just LaKisha, I'm sorry.
No worries.
Thank you for joining me and just for giving your words of advice, for sharing your journey, for being transparent. And I hope that someone's watching is looking at your story saying, you know what? I was thinking about starting my own, you know, skincare line or whatever business it is. And she gave me some really good nuggets, especially about the research. About the research. And not only that, she's still working corporate America. She told you about the challenges and the rewards of that. So I pray that you're taking all of this in. And if you're already an entrepreneur, I hope that it helps you in your strategy. And you're re-strategizing and reconstructing if you need it. But stay encouraged, like she said, like she just said. One day, one instant, one post, whatever it is, can change the trajectory of your company. So it's very important not to give up. Listen.
One more thing.
Oh, no, go ahead.
And get out of your way. Do not allow fear to stop you.
That's good.
And that's one thing that have slowed me down, because I always ask myself, me?
Right.
Like, you know how you dream one day being successful and big, but then you really don't believe it'll happen.
Right.
And so you sabotage. So you only
self-sabotage.
And you only give a little bit. But what if and this is, so we're gonna have to do a continuation, because I just trust and believe that I'm not gonna be here the same person. My business is gonna be bigger, more people gonna know about it. So I'm speaking at you because I'm starting
to
bet on
here
myself. I'm starting to bet on myself and believe in myself, and I'm not allowing fear, because I'm not a big social media person.
Right.
But I know I have to, because that's the age that we're in. So it's just stepping out of my comfort zone. So you have to step out.
Yeah, take the limits off.
I think so you have me here, it's me stepping out of my.
I know. You know, and I have a habit of just literally yanking people out of their comfort zone without them asking. But you know, it's good to have people like that. And I'm so glad that you relinquished your fear, your limitations, and her boundaries, and just said, okay.
For you,
But I appreciate you, and I'm sure you guys appreciate her too. But hey, every Tuesday, this month, of course, is the spotlight is on LaKisha Casselberry. And tell them the name of your company again.
Christians All Natural.
And you know what? By the time you guys see this, we're gonna have her information posted for you. So just click on the link, and you'll be able to go directly to her page.
Yes, ma'am. I was speaking that too.
That's right.
I received it.
You'll be able to go directly to her page, purchase. You can DM her. You can find out more information about her company, ask questions, but purchase. That's the biggest thing. And every Tuesday this month, we're going to rebroadcast this so you can see her story. So if you want to, you can go back and take some notes. You can think of some other things that you want to ponder on, and some things that you probably missed. You can catch up on it. But listen, if you are an entrepreneur, we want to hear your story too. I would love for you to sit with me and talk about your journey, so we can get other people looking and listening and following your journey, and hopefully this will launch your business to the next level. So if that is you, I need you to contact me. We're going to review your information, and hey, you never know. You may be sitting where Keisha is sitting right now, and I'd love to have that conversation with you. Thank you guys for joining me. Listen, tomorrow is what? Wednesday. So that means it's another episode of What's the Issue Wednesday. We have a special guest. We have a very special topic. I can't wait for you guys to sit in on that. So So join me tomorrow evening to see what the issue is on tomorrow, okay? Thank you guys for joining me. You guys be blessed. Have a beautiful night. See you later.
Today I'm starting